Beware. Are you ready to face the reptilian-infested cavern that is the Shrine of Skiss-Ryssa? Yes, you are. Let's go. So this is our longest encounter, coming in at about 42 inches. We pick it up right here with a straight passage and go right into this cool little inline pool section we have here. So this is got our first instance of these outside standing walls. So this is just a mock-up. So these are full 50 millimeter passage walls that are going to have a metal tab attached to the bottom of them. We have a little plastic in here for this mock-up, but there will be black rigid metal. This will be very similar to what we did in the Dungeon of Doom with our passage walls. And the purpose of these is that you can then slide the metal under a floor piece and it'll hold it in place, and it's for making passages with variable floors. So in this case, we're going to use two of these on either side of a trifecta ledge to have a floor that drops away into a negative space pool. This will be a weird little texture shape in here, 2.5 inches wide, 4 inches long, and just makes a little an area of fetid water that the players have to work their way through. Maybe there's a lizard in there, maybe there's a trap. I don't know, it's up to you, we'll find out. Either side we have trifecta walls holding up on either side, and then another pair of these outside standing walls. Very handy for doing some sort of passage work with irregular floors. Here, so this will be a fetid pool, maybe it's bottomless, maybe it's boiling, you can put some acid in there, whatever you want in there. It's a dangerous spot for your players to pass, probably. We've got everything's packed in tight here, we've got some trifecta walls on either side, doing the negative space thing, then another pair of these outside standing walls, and another trifecta ledge. So after they get past that, we get to 45-degree passage, straight passage, widening passage, and we open up into this massive chamber, and this will be the location of the big battle against the Queen Skiss-Ryssa. This is meant to feel like a big, open, wet cavern, right? Everything in here is wet. We've got all these pools, we've got these banks, we've got stagnant puddle floors, lots of water, lots of damp, humid air. It's definitely a lizard folk paradise, and a great place to stage a big battle. So the perimeter of the room has a whole bunch of just about every bread and butter piece, including this beautiful convex curve piece. I love this thing. We've got not one but two of the big LED, 6-inch LED entrance walls. We're missing an LED here, and there'll be one over here. Stefan took one of the torches to LA to run a big Founders and Legends game tomorrow. That should be exciting. The other one has a magnetic wall with a magnetic wall crystal attached in it, and that's the plot driver in this room. The players have to get this thing, but of course it's guarded by the lizard folk who will not give it up. We've got trifecta corners. Oh, we've got the small LED wall here, and there's going to be another one over there. So we have two of these little basalt LED walls. Straight walls, rising walls. There's rising walls on either side. There's bank transition walls, cascading pool corner, convex passage corner, corner entrance walls. These are all the bread and butter you need. The center of this thing, we've got lots of floors. We've got a ton of flat floors, a bunch of these stagnant puddle floors, and then a full set of banks. So we've got four of the corner banks, 4 of the straight banks, 4 of these convex banks. And the purpose of these banks is not actually to go into negative space, but rather to slowly step up in elevation. So we start at regular ground level here. We step up 1 level here we have a terrain tray under here that is supported by some 12 millimeter stilts. And then it's got a layer of floors on top of that, and then on top of the floors we have more banks. And then these transitions up to the next level where we have the Stairway to Violence base, and then even more banks that are getting us up to this level. And this is now, we've got 2 more terrain trays back here, so we've got 4 elevated terrain trays. These ones are on 38 millimeter stilts. In fact, why don't I show you? So we're going to take out this Stairway to Violence. Take out this big 6-inch wall. You can see we've got, I'm missing a stilt here, there's the 4th stilt. So the magnetic stilt's here holding this whole thing up. There'll be a stilt in the middle too to help with the extra weight because the Stairway to Violence is going to be heavy. We'll get to this thing in a sec. So we built very, very quickly and relatively affordably, we built a riser for this thing with modular pieces, right? So you can use those terrain trays for flying stuff in, you can use them for elevation. It's a really quick, fast, cheap way to vary your health. And it helps give the whole room a flow up to the big Stairway to Violence showpiece. So the other showpiece in this room is, it's like in the middle of the room here, we have just a staggeringly detailed sculpt by Michelle, Lady Sibel. It is a tribal mask on this cool banner. Maybe it's made of human skin, I don't know. Bloody club, there's some offerings, some skulls, a fallen mug. And then this touch, I just love, it is a inverted saber-toothed tiger skull that's holding the flame for this thing. It's just such a striking piece. Let's see, it's got a flickering LED. And what's cool is it's a floor socket piece. So this is a standard JST connector with the rest of our floor socket pieces. So this thing will take any of your floor socket pieces from the Dungeon of Doom, from Castle Builder system. So you can put that Eldritch Obelisk in here, you can put that Gargoyle Guardian, any of those pieces here. This you can put on any of those floor sockets, so if you want to bring this into your dungeon you can. And this floor socket, has the electricals, it has the battery, and the switch, all these beautiful basalts. What a neat piece. Neat way to power your LED floor socket pieces. It's a cool piece right in the room. So the base here, we have a Stairway to Violence base, and then this is a natural bridge, a curved natural bridge base that leads right up to it. You see it sits there and cleanly goes right up. Nice change in elevation. All right, so past this tribal totem here, we have this double door arch, and inside that we've got the dead end, this horseshoe-shaped dead end piece, which we go over in Encounter 4, the webbed layer. And inside it we have, nestled in that nook, we've got this hollow elevation block. So this thing is a variation on the standard elevation block, but it's got a hole all the way through it. So you can use it as a bottomless pit or a trap. You could put one of our texture patches, put a texture patch underneath for something terrible under there. You could just use it to make a dangerous area. The same lid will fit there that fits in the whole floor, so that's interchangeable. The monster nest will fit in this thing, so you got a couple options with it. And what's extra super cool about it is the bottom is going to be hollowed out, so it'll take all of the trap pieces from the Dungeon of Doom, the spike floor, the snake floor, and any of our new ones, such as this gibbering mouther pit, will fit under there for trouble. And look at this thing. This is just an inspired sculpt by Nina. Just a mass of flesh and eyes and teeth and tongues. Ugh. We took a gibbering mouther and mashed it into a pit, and it's waiting there just to devour anyone. In this case, it's waiting there for a sacrifice to be thrown into the pit and devoured. A neat thing we're doing with this is we have a false floor lid that comes with it. So we have this piece that will fit clean over it, and it'll look just like one of our regular flat floors. But, so you can slide it into your build just like a regular floor. We've got metal in the flat lid, and we're going to give you this little trap removal tool. So you bring this thing over, and boom, you can remove the lid and reveal the trap when your players step on it. So it should be a terribly vile surprise waiting for them. What a fun gag is that, right? So in this case, we're actually putting it on top of the false floor lid and then stacking this on top of it, and then sliding this on top of it so it gets up to the proper height. And finally, players will eventually work their way over and confront find the Stairway to Violence here. Winding their way up to the top, they'll find the Shaman circle at the top. This is another inspired sculpt by Nina. There'll be some stone in the top of this Stairway to Violence. We're missing we had an accident, we lost a green flame. We haven't had time to cast a new one. So these will be translucent, so if you put it on our LED floor, you can get some light through these flames and through these runes. There's some messages carved there in Draconic, for those of you who are fluent in Draconic. And this is just the sort of place to do an evil ritual, a sacrifice, some sort of terrible monologue, or a fight. Just it's a killer looking piece. I love this thing. And this is, of course, where the great violent reptile, the lizard queen herself, Skiss-Ryssa, awaits our heroes. Inspired sculpt by Boris Wallison with those beautiful lines. This is one lizard folk lady you do not want to mess with. She's truly Skiss-Ryssa the savage. She will lizard folk you up. So this is the massive Shrine of Skiss-Ryssa. Fantastic location for a giant boss fight. Lots of fun little traps and tricks. Lots of wet pieces. You can build a lot of different things out of this thing. Shrine of Skiss-Ryssa. And that is the Shrine of Skiss-Ryssa. It's got the gibbering mouther pit. It's got all those pools of water, tons of LED pieces, stalagmites, rising elevation. It's got the Stairway to Violence, both parts, shamanic circle on top. Skiss-Ryssa, the lizard queen. I mean, what better place for an epic boss fight? Yes, dare you face Skiss-Ryssa? Yes, you dare. Come.